Hi, I'm Gabriel Carter. Welcome to Dog's Breakfast. My guest today is Mr. Brent Hodge. Brent is a documentary filmmaker. He was nominated for 2 Leo Awards. A couple of the latest artistic events in his life is he was the director of Brony the Movie, about My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic Fandom. This year he was also nominated for a Canadian Screen Award for directing the Beatle Road Trip Sessions with Grant Lawrence, and we will put his website right here so you can continue to see the magnificence. Hello, Brent.
Hey.
How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Good. For love or for money?
What about it?
Which?
Either of them?
Yeah. Which?
I think both have their reason to be there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you're going to kind of come down like 50-50?
Yeah, I think for love comes first, and then if you're one of the lucky ones, money can kind of come. But it's not even if it doesn't come, love's still there, so you're good to go.
Awesome. Good. All right. We're gonna jump kind of in the deep end of the pool here.
Sure.
So my question for you is what's your documentary philosophy? Are you omniscient behind the camera, or are you implicated with your subjects, or are you kind of a mixture of both? Or
yeah, I think it's like Woody Allen has a quote, and it's that in his book, and it says that 80% of life is showing up, and that's sort of how I approach all of the documentaries that we do. Is that I just get there, and most of the time it just does it itself, but I have to get there, and if you get there, then 80% is done, and then the other 20% is just this magic that may or may not happen. Mm-hmm. And that's okay, because 80% still like an A- or like B+, so you can keep going.
And do you find more often than not, or more than not, that your subjects are kind of happy to talk or amenable to share their experience, or does it kind of depend from project to project?
I think everyone's pretty nervous with a camera right away. It's like these guns that are staring right at you.
Yeah.
But then as soon as like about maybe 20 minutes goes by, people usually forget about the camera, especially if you're really engaged with them and having a conversation. Most of the time you'll get whatever you want, and it's really easy to kind of break that wall down, especially if, and if people are acting, you eventually just, everything will calm down, and they'll just forget about the cameras.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Now, initially, when you're filming them, within those 20 minutes, do you see the same archetypes like over and over again, as far as like coping and defense mechanisms for, I'm going to be kind of reserved kind of guy?
Oh yeah, there's like I have like probably 10 people in my world.
Yeah.
And I know who they are, and I very quickly realize when especially when you're interviewing. I mean, when you're doing a documentary, you're just talking to people. It's the same as us talking now, or seeing someone at a bus stop. As soon as I see that person, about 3 or 4 sentences in, or 3 or 4 questions, I already know what type that is. I sort of have 10 across the board.
Yeah.
So, and I know how to deal with those 10 now.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing I've maybe learned by doing docs is that I've learned what I need to do to get to that one person. Or it's that type of person out of the 10, so he's going to do this if I ask this.
Right. But then the 20 minutes passes, and then we're
you're
launching ourselves into
Do you know the concept?
Real stuff.
Do you know what instant rapport is? Rapport is, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So instant rapport is actually Tony Robbins. You know Tony Robbins, like walk on fire guy.
Yep.
He comes up with this concept called instant rapport, and it's a way for you to get to a relationship with someone quickly. Mm-hmm. It's mirror matching, us sitting the same way, us being the same way, us feeling the same way.
Neuro-linguistic programming, NLP.
Exactly. It's basically his cheesy way of saying it.
Yeah.
it's just something, you know, a lot of really good talk shows do it. You know, I look at like Jimmy Fallon does it, or George Strombo does it from Canada.
Yeah.
And they find this way to react to someone physically, and then I think it just spiritually and mentally and intellectually, it just kind of all comes together.
Spot on. Spot on. Kind of an open-ended question. What drives you?
What drives me? That's a great question. I don't know. I think I'd given myself a title when maybe like 3 or 4 years ago of saying, okay, I'm going to be a doc director. I'm going to be a director. I'm going to be a filmmaker. And then I think I'm trying to figure out now, from now until I decide I don't want to do it, how to earn that title. So that maybe drives me. I don't think I wake up every day and go like, you know, Jesus drives me, or like money drives me, or love. I just think I need to wake up and I have to have the pride to say, I need to earn this today. I need to earn this title today.
Yeah, that's self-manifestation. It's good. Oh, do you come up with your own documentary ideas, or are you approached, or is it both?
It's a little bit of both. I would say they come to me, but let's say the Brony movie is the best example because it's the newest one.
Yeah.
You know, that's actually a good friend of mine. She's a voiceover on the show, and she starts getting emails from these guys that call themselves Bronies. That, you can react a couple ways to that. And one person goes, that's really bizarre, or like, oh, I get them.
Yeah.
My instant reaction was, we need to film this. So, I don't know if I came up with the idea, or if she did, or if it just sort of came to me and I just thought, we have to film that. And that's most of the time how it works. But I've been approached as well. I've been approached by companies, I've been approached by other individuals who want to team up. So, yeah, I guess all the above.
All the above, cool. What's your favorite holiday?
My favorite holiday?
Yeah.
Well, I think I have to say Easter, just because there's some white rabbits going on here. But I think I was in Mexico once for Cinco de Mayo.
Yep.
And I mean, it is what it is in North America, in Canada and America, but in Mexico that was really cool. I don't know if it's my favorite. It's definitely my favorite festival thing I've ever done.
What's your favorite Muppet, or what Muppet are you?
What Muppet am I?
Yeah.
I'm probably Kermit.
Ah.
I saw him get interviewed on a show. He was on CBC's Gian Gameshi.
Yeah.
The Q with Gian, and it was really funny, and I related to him a lot.
So Kermit's the every Muppet.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And Kermit's the one who gets along with everybody and so on and so forth. So I would think that being a documentary filmmaker, that would come in handy.
Yeah, and I also think Kermit, I mean, if you want to get deep here, I think Kermit also is the kind of guy who can be, you know, a part of a group and stand out, and also kind of just bend back and be a part of what that team is. So I don't know, he works both ways. He also drives the story, always, which I really like.
He always does, absolutely.
Always drives the story.
Drives the narrative. It's true.
He drives the narrative, and he's the guy that cuts it off when it needs to be cut off, cuts it off when it gets silly, and gives the audience a reason to be there, and sort of like the info of what's going to happen next. That's him, and I just feel like I fall under that as well.
Amen. Awesome. I think for the last question that I got for you is, can you give me a nonsensical or quirky or what have you question for me to ask a future guest?
Oh, sure. Needs to be quirky?
You know, along those lines.
Needs to be quirky. Needs to be
Quirky,
funny.
nonsensical,
Um,
rabbit-like.
Rabbit-like. Interesting. I mean, you want to stump them, or you want them to actually answer this professionally and well?
Your choice. I don't want to put you in a box canyon here, Hodge. I want you to feel free. You know.
If I was gonna get a question, that would be an interesting question.
Yeah, to ask a future guest.
To ask a future guest.
Yes.
Would go with. Do you think plaid's gonna go into its fourth phase of fashion? It's gone through 3, maybe even 4 now, but it's gone through 3. Just wondering if it's gonna go into its 4th.
Okay.
I think you're gonna get a real answer.
I know. Well, hopefully people will watch the show before they come on, and then they'll know it's coming.
True. Very true.
Possibly. Okay, I lied. I have one more question for you.
Yes.
All right. Do you have heroes?
Yeah, absolutely. I have heroes. Some of them aren't even real. That sounds like like Superman's a hero.
Mm-hmm.
Superman's not actually one of my heroes, but that's an example. I gotta think of who my heroes, or I guess the better way is like some of them aren't alive anymore. They once were.
Sure.
They're figures, like Kurt Cobain is a hero.
Absolutely.
Einstein's a hero. I think right now, if I could pick a hero or someone who I think is doing really interesting things, it would be Tom Ford.
Mm-hmm.
He the guy who started Gucci and then now has his own line of clothing. Also directed a movie out of nowhere, never done it before, and just said, "I'm going to go do this."
That kind of entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah, that kind of entrepreneurial spirit, and taking the twist of whatever he did in clothing, the story of a Gucci suit, and brought it to film. And you see that template, and you're like, "Wow, this is an immaculate looking movie." It's a single man. Colin Firth got an Academy Award nomination for it. And now I'm wondering how he's going to do this, the next step for a guy like Tom Ford, and how he's going to take it to, I don't know, a car maybe, or designing a house, or a book, or whatever he wants to do. He's just taking Tom Ford, and he's created a whole new kind of feel for it and look.
Awesome. Hey, Brent, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
All right. Cheers. Bye. Hi, I'm Gabriel Carter for Dog's Breakfast. Let's talk about some movies. The first movie, one of my favorites, one of my all-time favorites, is 1975's A Boy and His Dog. This movie stars Don Johnson and also a dog named Vic, a sheepdog. And Don Johnson and the sheepdog have a telekinetic relationship. I should also mention this is in a post-apocalyptic world, so they have this telekinetic, telepathic relationship in this post-apocalyptic world. Also, the late, great Jason Robards was in this film. He's wearing a seersucker suit. And you're just going to have to watch the movie to see what that's about. So, check that one out. A Boy and His Dog. Oh, I should also mention, not as a spoiler, but the very end, there's a twist ending that was very, very, very controversial at the time. The second movie is a 2006 South Korean horror film by the name of The Host. Now, don't get this confused with Stephanie Meyer's 2013 The Host, because that would be a tragedy. 2006 The Host, South Korean horror film. Political commentary, there's a monster in it. The director actually said that the inspiration for the creature was a actual fish that was caught with this incredibly deformed spine in the Han River, and that's where they got the inspiration for the creature, which is incredible. We'll actually throw up a picture of it now. So there it is, and it is amazing. Stunning film, couldn't recommend it higher. The Host. The third film is 1989's How to Get Ahead in Advertising. This is a British film. Stars Richard E. Grant and Rachel Ward. And I'm not going to tell you too much about it. I'll just say that the title itself is a pun. It's very political. It has to do with emotional compartmentalization and the physicalization of that emotional compartmentalization. It's very, very, very wicked and a hell of a watch. So there you go. There's my 3 films. Check them out if you get a chance. And thanks for listening.
Rolling.
A 6-piece groove band whose genre flirts between blues, jazz, and hip-hop, just to name a few. Ladies and gentlemen, Public Domain.
On the telephone, here's your Rumberg man, thank for the loan. Oh, I fall on like the sun is Joe. This ball stories up, did not have a law. And the sun woke me up from the crack of dawn. Just a matter of time, and I was gone. Oh, my your P's and Q's, oh, my your P's and Q's, my your P's and Q's, oh, my your P's and Q's, my your P's and Q's, oh, my your P's and Q's. Public domain, the band you cannot sue. 28, 24 is the number of the door, but it's not the ages we are anymore. Try to keep myself, but I can't ignore. I'm still in the same place that I was before. When I'm going to Maine, I will not take the train, cause the ride is short, and I can't complain. If I had a bike, I'd bike it in the rain, but when I'm behind the wheel, I drive myself insane. You're my friend, and you do not understand, like Tommy Oswald on the head, and it's gonna walk off like a black hand with a assassinated, I do murder that. Oh, mind your P's and Q's, oh, mind your P's and Q's, mind your P's and Q's, oh, mind your P's and Q's, mind your P's and Q's, oh, mind your P's and Q's. You don't like haters, man, don't write reviews.
Goes to the Lipstick Project, a non-profit society dedicated to providing quality of life services for those in hospices.
My shout out goes to one of our very own viewers, Saba. Hey Saba, thanks for watching and keep on watching. Dog's Breakfast Person of the Hour is Mr. Rod Serling. I'm Gabriel Carter, this is Nhi Do, and we'll see you around the bend.